Thanks very much to everyone on the panel. Just welcoming Evelyn Collins, Chief Executive of the Equality Commission, and of course Darren, onto the panel. We've had lots of questions in, so thank you very much for taking the time to that, and we'll try to get through as many of them as possible. Some of them are quite individual, perhaps not the forum to answer those, but if you really feel at the end that your question hasn't been answered, please speak to a member of the Equality Commission team. So first up, Amanda Stevens from YouthNet has a question. She wants to know, how will the Equality Commission be following up this survey in terms of challenging the prejudice identified? What structure stroke supports are in place for the Commission to do this? Evelyn, I think that's one for you.
Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I had a little bit of advance look at the questions as I was sitting down there, and I said to Tara she could ask me that first or last, so she said first, so here goes. The first job, of course, we had in terms of the role of the Equality Commission was to gather this information and produce, as Fidelma called it, the evidence base for our discussions, and hopefully discussions and influencing policy going forward. The second role we have is to communicate it, and communicate it as widely as possible. Clearly, this morning is about sharing the information with you. Many of our key stakeholders are here, and we're delighted to see such a good crowd. So, clearly we want to communicate the findings as widely as possible. We've had media coverage already today. Fidelma's talked about tweeting, and we know we're getting some feedback on that. Michael mentioned we're going to the Assembly OFM DFM committee this afternoon. There's an engagement with politicians that we want to have, and of course ongoing engagement with public authorities who are represented here, with private sector employers and so on. So that's all a very important part for us of communicating the findings. It is available on the website in detail, and we have a range of formats to do that. We also have to, of course, raise awareness about the implications of this for our work to promote equality of opportunity. It's not just enough to be midwife of a lot of data. We want, of course, to focus on the issues that's telling us where awareness is low or where attitudes are poor. That will help us in our work to shape our promotional work about where we want people to address particular focus. And I'd scribbled down working with partner organisations, because of course, although I have, like Rory, been working in this field a fair number of years, I realised fairly quickly that I couldn't change the world on my own, and nor could the Equality Commission. We do rely on our partner organisations to help us both raise awareness and challenge the prejudicial attitudes, so we'll be looking forward to doing that. And I very much like Rory, I hadn't thought about what you'd said, but I think it's very important for individual employers to say, actually, this is helpful for us when we're doing recruitment and selection training, to use this in a very practical way to highlight where we're all surprised about 30% of people say it's okay in certain circumstances to have prejudice or hold prejudice views. That's a very practical, concrete thing that employers can use as well. I suppose the final thing I wanted to say is, clearly we want policymakers to use this. We want to influence policy. Michael, in favour of equality, Michael mentioned the programme for government this morning. We know the programme of government being agreed there earlier this year is full, apart from the underpinning principle in relation to equality, is also full almost in the first year of its coverage of coming forward with a number of strategies that directly relate to some of the issues here. A strategy on on cohesion, sharing and integration to address good relations, a strategy on sexual orientation, a strategy on disability, which is currently out for consultation, a review of the gender equality strategy, a review of the race equality strategy. These are all things that are squarely in the programme for government. We have an opportunity to influence policymakers, and I'm very much hopeful, Tara, that the information contained in this, which canvasses experiences of, attitudes to, and awareness of equality issues, will be helpful in that context as well.